Hey everybody, back again, zone 6, going to be the last zone that we talk about, neuromuscular power. Hopefully be a little quick one today, but not to underestimate the value of this zone or of this engine. Got a nice little pickup there for you. It's a little stretched out that's a cycling team out here in Colorado that we did a training camp with down in Moab earlier this spring. Good time that was. But Zone 6, also referred to as neuromuscular power, this can really be broken down into two basic parts if you think about it. Basically, your kind of just your pure physical strength, that maximum kind of effort, that maximum just all out, pure muscular effort that you would do. Very short efforts, generally we're speaking under 30 seconds. Also, the other side of that, which a lot of people don't think of, is your neurological ability to use that muscular power. It's been proven that you don't, and there's a lot of factors to this, not all of them neurological, but it's been proven that your body doesn't actually access 100% of your muscular power that you actually have, and so by training the neurological aspect of that, you can access more of the muscle that you do have, and therefore get more kind of maximum effort, more maximum power, and more maximum speed, hopefully, out of training that. So there's a couple of reference points that I put in here on why this is so important. Obviously, for the road racer or criterium rider, if sprinting is going to be a factor in your race, and it almost always is, you need to be able to have some kind of sprinting ability, some kind of a maximum effort ability. So that's always important. Also, even if you're kind of focusing on races that really favor longer efforts and climbing ability, threshold power and endurance and stuff like that, it's still a real incredibly important aspect of road racing. There's so many little accelerations within a pack, and they really can start to wear on you. And I have a couple examples. Racing in a criterium is obviously you get a lot of spikes, but even in a long road race, the first stage of the Gila, we had a rider in the Cat 2 field with a power meter, and I think he had somewhere 30 or maybe even over 40 kind of big spikes in that race before the climb even started. There's a finishing climb, but it's mostly a flat race. And what we mean by big spikes is 10 watts per kilogram of body weight. So, for your 155-pound rider, you're looking at about 700 watts. Usually you can knock that down for female riders. 8-9 watts per kilogram of body weight is kind of the threshold there. And it's been found by, much more, a lot more developed and well-known coaches than me and PhDs and whatnot, that limit there, that 10 watts per kilogram or so, is really that kind of a spike, even if it's short, does a lot of damage, and it can't really be recovered usually during that particular ride or that day. So you really need to be able to handle those accelerations. And as you can see, doing 45 of them or 30 of them in a race is, that's going to really start to wear on you. So even if it's not a critical part of the race, if it's not a winning, part of the race for you, it's still a vital aspect that you need to be able to handle. And then, even for the time trialing specialist or the, longer distance triathlete, having a certain level of strength is important. It's important to have that, to be able to draw from it when you're climbing up steep hills, and just to be at your best. We talked yesterday about a weakness. If you have a weak area that's too weak, it will hold back all the other aspects of your riding. And this is a real classic case. We see this a lot with real long distance endurance athletes. We've got a lot of examples of Ironman triathletes, and in particular the RAM team, the Race Across America 4-man team that we worked with this year, did a lot of extensive on the bike strength training this over the winter and even into the spring, and everyone improved. They all improved on an individual level. Everyone's threshold power went up, and they also won. And so I think that's a real good, it's a really good example of how this stuff really does work. You got to have a certain level of just pure strength and ability. And so I throw down some numbers there for you that you can kind of check out as far as what's too weak, kind of depending on your what you're training for. And they're just guidelines, okay? So don't get too crazy with making sure that you can do, so many watts per kilogram because your threshold power is this. They're just kind of guidelines. Everyone should be able to do 10 watts per kilogram of body weight. That's kind of that's a real minimum. I feel everyone should be able to produce that, and be able to, produce it a couple of times within a ride. And even if it's only for a few seconds. And the bottom line here is the shorter your race, the more important this becomes. If you're training for a 45-minute criterium or an hour-long criterium, you can obviously see the benefits there. Even on a time trialing standpoint, if you're training for a sprint distance triathlon or a short time trial, a short prologue time trial, this kind of stuff is, even though it's a steady effort, this kind of thing it becomes more and more important. So check yours out, especially you endurance athletes out there. Check yours out and see where you're at. Even if you you need to get on a trainer or sprint a roadie buddy of yours that and if you know what his maximum power output is, see if you can at least match up with him at all, and you can kind of estimate where your kind of maximum strength is. So real important group ride discussion coming up. Train safe, everybody. Have a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.